Good morning, YouTube. I'm out here watering a few things I put in the ground before the spring came about. Just wanted to update you guys on what I got going. And show you some of the new things that I did put in the ground. This season will be a little more difficult for me, as many of you know, friends and family that follow me. I'm expecting my third child this week, and with a 11-month-old and soon to be newborn, as you could imagine, it would be hard for me to tend to the garden area and what have you. I learned that last year after my baby girl was born, and I had to allocate cutting grass to someone else. So now my time outside is minimal. Thank God that the plants that I really get into are perennial, so they tend to take care of themselves. I did put some annuals in the ground that I hope will rear me food, as expensive as food is. But you come along with me, I'll show you some new things I got going on. And this first plant I'm about to show you has actually been around for the past 2 years, but I finally decided to put it in the ground, and it is my pawpaw tree. Don't look like much, I know, but boy, this is one of my most prized plants. Took me about 2 years to find some, and I am obsessed with the flavor of this fruit. My only concern with this plant is that it was grafted, and from what I've read, pawpaw trees have a extremely long tap root to go deep into the earth to draw water and sustain the plant. This one didn't have a tap root because, again, it was grafted, but it seems to be doing well. I'm not sure about the fruiting process, but I'll read more up on that. And worst come to worst, I got some seeds that I'll just end up sticking in the ground and starting from seed. Here we have an elderberry plant. As I'll show you throughout the rest of my yard, I propagated them. I started with 2, and I've propagated them because, quite honestly, this is my breadwinner. I've made a lot of money off these plants, so it only makes sense to propagate and give me the opportunity to make more money. But yeah, this is elderberry plant that I had in the front yard. I ended up moving back here because, quite frankly, the thing was as big as this pawpaw tree when I first stuck it in the ground. This pawpaw tree is at best 2 feet, maybe 2 feet 2 inches. Well, this here elderberry plant that I stuck in the front yard was slightly smaller, and within a season and a half's time, look what it has grown into. And if you, you might have a hard time judging this, but I'm 5'8", and this thing is every bit of 10 foot. That's ridiculous. So that's exactly why I moved this one back here. Gave him a little more space right before winter came, and it seems to be doing well, extremely well. Nice green foliage on it, a lot of new growth, as you can see here. The greener stems are the new growth. The woodier looking stems are from previous growth. Over here we got the mulberry trees, which were actually doing extremely well before the last frost came through and killed all of the foliage, as well as some of the the flowers that had actually begun to turn into fruit. But if you look closely here, you will see my baby's coming back. You look at the base of the tree as well, you can see some new foliage popping out. And I topped those last fall and ended up cleaning them up some more before the winter was over and spring hit. But again, this one is doing a little better, a lot more foliage coming back. And this is my second year, not second full year, but my second year with these trees. So I'm actually completing the first year this summer, and then after the summer, it will be going to begin the start of the second year. And these as well were very small, like the pawpaw tree. But if you don't know about mulberry trees, they will grow extremely fast. I topped them last year, and they were about 9.5 feet, and that's insane for a tree. If you didn't know that growth. Yeah, so topped them because I didn't want to be on a ladder getting fruit from these trees, even though they are dwarfs, but they're expected to be to grow up to about 20 feet tall. Over here we have 2 more elderberry trees, and these actually have been in the ground for a while, but they're just now starting to do their thing. As you can see, we got a lot of new growth here. I wasn't sure why they were so slow growth rate wise compared to the one in the front yard, but I guess they got it sorted out and they like their environment, so they're doing well. As you can see, we got some new shoots coming up that are out a little further away from the base of the plant, so as you can see there. All right, over here I moved 2 of my raised beds that were in the front yard onto these platforms to give my wife some space on the driveway when she's getting out with the babies when I'm not around and stuff. Let me do some slight watering there. I just put some lettuce seeds along here. As you can see here, I got 3 flower beds with collard greens in them. I'll allow them to come to seed. As you can see, they have flowers here, but if you look closely, these little things here will be seed pods. So I'm actually going to eat the remainder of this nice foliage that we know collard greens to have, that we enjoy so much. And after this last run of foliage, I will continue to let them come to seed and take them out of the ground and collect the seeds. Therefore, I will never be buying collard green seeds again. Over here, as you can see here, we have some seedlings popping up. These are mustard greens, and if you look closely, some of them have their first set of true leaves already. Look at there. I don't know if y'all can see that. There you go. They have their first set of true leaves. This has to be a mistake. It looks like maybe some sort of kale or dinosaur kale or something like that, which I did plant in my front flower bed, but I let him grow and do his thing. I'm not going to disturb him. Here, I took some mulberry cuttings that I removed from the main trees back over there, and I'm waiting for them to begin to bud or not, see if they make it. I got a few that I did stick in pots randomly, and they actually did begin to grow some new foliage. I'll show that up front. Here, where'd the snails go? Oh, they running. Okay, anyway, I have that covered because these are some lettuce seedlings And although we've been getting a lot of rain over the weekend, throughout the week, it has heated up pretty fast, and I just want to provide them with a cooler environment. So sometime I'll occasionally I'll water them and put this piece of cardboard over them to protect them from the sun a bit. But if you look closely, I got a bunch of lettuce coming, and this is actually this seedling here seems to be the one furthest along with its first set of true leaves as well. Wow, this is the first time I've noticed that. But yeah, I'm letting this do its thing. Cover that back up. That is lettuce again. Whole raised bed full of lettuce. Let's see what we got up here. Now, this first plant that you're gonna view, this is one of the first 2 elderberry plants that I purchased, or it's only 2, one of 2 elderberry plants that I purchased. The others were propagated, and you can see how enormous this thing is. And all of the elderberry syrup that I put out last year actually came from this one plant alone. I got over 10 pounds of berries off of this one plant. So, again, that's my breadwinner. I thought it only made sense to propagate more. That's what I did. And with the addition of those and this, plenty of money to be made. Not just money. I mean, this stuff is actually medicine, and I have proof, personal proof, as well as other people's testimonies of them having ailments and them being relieved of them. I can't say cured, because I think they were only temporary ailments, such as the cold or flu, but they were relieved of them. Here I have a patio blueberry plant. As you can see, we got some green foliage here, but the red is the result of the cold nights that we will occasionally get as the spring rolls in, which it is here, but top of the spring you still might get a few cold nights or what have you. But blueberries tend to turn brown or red when the cold hits. Again, you can see some green foliage there, but this variety is called peach sorbet. This is new, as well as this blueberry plant is called pink icing, also a patio variety. That's why I have them in pots. They seem to be doing extremely well over here. I have more mulberry plants or cuttings that I'm waiting to see some foliage grow onto. I'll show you more over here, which actually do have foliage, and that's why I'm being patient. Here we are, a mulberry cutting. I anticipate this thing to do extremely well here in a second. Oh wow, okay. So as you can see here, this mulberry cutting also has foliage. Okay, so all the mulberry cuttings seem to be doing pretty well, pretty spectacular. As you can see, not all of them, but they are coming along. Here is, I had this variety of raspberry before, but I've only managed to get one raspberry off of it in the span of, oh, excuse me, gas. Only got one raspberry in the span of almost 3 years. So I got another plant and replanted. I mean, not really replanted, but planted it in this pot. And I hope to see some shortcake raspberries this year, hopefully. Raspberries are aggressive and tend to do well regardless of their environment. This here is a shorter variety. Again, it's called shortcake raspberry, not like this one, which is a heritage raspberry. The shortcake raspberry does well in pots as well as this here blackberry variety called baby cakes. Much like the 3 plants I showed you prior, they tend to do well in pots. So that's why I have them all in pots. Let's see here. That's actually all the new stuff that I have in the yard, aside from what I did with the front flower bed. But as you can see here, if you look closely, this is the hole in which I dug up the elderberry plant that I moved to the back. Be careful where you put elderberry, because it does grow extremely fast and aggressively. This hole is here because I dug up the plant. Not only that, I've went back and I found roots such as these that continue to grow and send up shoots. As you can see here, I had to destroy another rooting of it because it was just popping up in the middle of the yard, and I don't want that in this particular place. Not that I don't want it, but I don't want it in this particular place. Got some blackberries here doing extremely well. But if you come over here, this flower bed has been dedicated to food and herbs. As you can see, I have Ignatia everywhere. Ignatia being this plant here, a flowering plant that brings lots of pollinators. Not only that, the root has medicinal properties, but the majority of this brown open space, even here, I just recently planted seeds, all kinds of red cabbage, cauliflower, broccoli, collard greens, mustard greens, and spinach. All cool variety crops. Also, I just wanted to point out here, and I'm gonna let you all go, that when you're dealing with plants, you will get a lot, and I do mean a lot, of volunteers. Seeds get blown by the wind and get inserted into the ground somehow and begin to sprout. So I only had 4 echinacea plants that I planted over here, and if you pay close attention, this particular part of the flower bed is being taken over by echinacea, which I don't mind because, again, I use it in my elderberry syrup, and it does have medicinal properties. But that's 1, 2, 3, 4 were the main echinacea plants that I planted, and you can see that they are everywhere now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Not only do we have echinacea volunteers, but if you come back over here, we have a whole row of arugula that I was harvesting seeds last year, and I think they blew off the porch, some of them, and they volunteered to grow. All of the white looking flowers are arugula plants, which is a spicy, peppery tasting salad green that works well with or on sandwiches a lot of times with like blue cheese or goat cheese. Lots of them. Again, I got a whole row. In addition, I have volunteer strawberries here. We'll go back up to the arugula. I mean, this stuff is everywhere, as you can see. That's a whole row of arugula there. Another volunteer echinacea plant. What other volunteers do we have? We have some volunteer radishes over here. 1, 2. I just let it grow and do its thing. And back over here, as you can see, we have some volunteer echinacea over here as well. I only planted 5 plants, but you got them popping up way over here, you know. I got to move these rocks back along this border, but over here as well, we have another volunteer arugula plant. Well, just wanted to give you all an update on what's going on with the gardening. That's why I started this channel. I will always be doing this regardless if I'm posting, and I might get a little late to post. I mean, I got real life stuff going on, but I try to keep you all updated as much as possible. So this is the first update of 2023 as we have entered the growing season. All right, you guys, I appreciate the time. Thanks for listening. Let me know if you have any questions. Leave some comments about what you are growing in the comment section below. Peace, love, and happiness.